What's going on, people? Today we are going to go through your most common questions relating to the military and fitness. If you don't know who I am, or this is the first time on the channel, you're unfamiliar, you don't have a clue, my name is Kyle. I served in the military. I did about 6 years in the regulars, and then I did a further year in the reserves. I left the army, I left the military as a whole to work alongside a recruiting group in the application process and the process on getting people to assessment centre, and eventually getting people over the line and getting them into basic training with the Army, Navy and the RAF. So I've got a little bit of experience when being asked questions around the application process and the recruitment process as a whole. Now I kind of support people on the sort of fitness aspect of things, but my channel is heavily based around military sort of stuff. So these questions are mostly around the military, so feel free to give a comment, a like, subscribe down below if you do enjoy the video, and let's get into the first question. So I don't know if it's because it's a new year and people are making New Year's resolutions and people are making applications for the army, or if it's because Harrogate is coming up in March and people are just starting to flap a little bit. But I'm getting asked why I joined the army and what my family thought about me joining the army. Now, I didn't always want to go into the army. I was actually in the process of going to university. I was playing basketball at a high level and I was doing sports science, and I was quite enthusiastic about that. However, I did not like going to college. So the only thing that I could do, because I kept on bunking off and not getting the grades that I should get, is join the military. My dad was in the military, and I had other family members in the military, so I thought it was the only option. I also had a close friend who sort of gave me a bit of incentive. He used to come home on a weekend, I seen he had loads of money, and I thought, I can do that. So I ended up joining the military. My dad, like I say, he was in the military, so he was happy with the decision, but he was also a little bit worried about what that entailed, so going to war and all them sorts of things. The rest of my family were just proud, and they were definitely proud when I got through the basic training process and I went on to get promoted. I went on to pass P company, all them sorts of things. My family started to realise that the military was really good for me, and it actually benefited me in a lot of different ways, whether that be for life skills, discipline, all them sorts of things, but also just sorting myself out a little bit and giving me a little bit of a goal, something to strive for, and all them sorts of things. If I was going to stay in the military for 22 years or not, I don't think they really cared. They were just glad that I was doing something with my life, and I think that's a lot of that's what's happening with a lot of people these days. They're losing sight of what they want to do and they need something to strive towards. So that's why I always recommend the military to any sort of young person that I work with now that doesn't know what they want to do, because the military offers you a lot of different things in a lot of different ways, and it doesn't really matter what you go in to do. You always end up coming out falling on your feet with a lot of skills and a lot of choices in life. So it's one of them things where you have to make the right decision for you. If your family don't agree with you going in, then sometimes you just have to say unlucky, that's my decision. If you're not old enough to do that yet, i.e. you're not 18 and you have to wait till you're 18 to go in, then that's something you have to do. It's your decision. But a lot of parents, when you say you want to go into the military, are very, very supportive. Obviously they're going to be worried, that's only natural. But that's life. People are going to worry. You just have to make sure you do them proud and let them see the benefits of you joining the military. So the next question is related to the beloved fitness assessment of the military, specifically the bleep test. Now, I get messages all the time saying, I'm going to assessment centre in 2 weeks. I need to go from level 6 to level 11.6 to get in the Poers, or level 11.8, whatever it is, to get into the Poers. How can I do it? Now, the easiest answer to that is, you're not going to go and jump from 6 to 11 in 2 weeks. You should have been prepping way before. But if you were to make little jumps from 6 to 7 or something in a couple of weeks, then that's definitely doable. But the answer to the question is jumping from level 6, which is pretty much walking, just jogging, up to something where you're pretty much sprinting every bleep, level 11, level 12, is going to be very, very difficult to do, and it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of specific training around sprinting, working at a high heart rate, and it's also going to take a little bit of determination and a little bit of grit. Now, if you're someone that is going to selection in a few weeks' time and you are maybe a level off, or maybe even 2 levels off, then you probably be able to do it, firstly through a little bit of training before you go, and then secondly, when you get up there, you get a bit of pressure on you, you've got people around you to compete against, you might be able to will yourself over the line and get you through it. You do get 3 warnings, so there's always that chance that you can just get through by the skin of your teeth. But my answer to the people that are miles and miles off and expecting to make massive changes in a short period of time, that you obviously haven't prepped properly, and you haven't been out doing enough to get you to the standard. Now, if you go up there and fail, that's absolutely fine. You come back, and then that's when you need to start taking things seriously, and you need to say, right, I've failed, I've got a couple of months to prep again before I go back up to assessment centre, whatever you recruited aside. So they might give you 3 months to do some fitness. I'll probably recommend you use the Army Fitness app. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but this is your time to use that as a wake-up call. You've got 3 months, 3 to 4 runs a week, put some speed workouts in there, practice doing the bleep test, and actually prepare yourself properly. It doesn't matter if it's raining, snowing, windy, sunny, too hot, too cold. You need to get out and do your runs, and you need to take this shit seriously. Otherwise, you're going to go up there again in 3 months' time, or you'll be messaging me 2 weeks before you go up in 3 weeks' time saying, I'm still at 6.6, but I need to get to 8.7 to get into the infantry. How can I do this in 2 weeks? Mate, you can't. You need to bloody, you need to prep properly, and you need to spend the time. You're not just going to be able to get fit off sitting on your ass. So it's all about preparation's key, as they always say. And take things seriously. Work your ass off and make sure you're ready to go up there. So when you're going up there and you need 11.7, whatever it is, go up there having already done level 12. And then you're happy, you don't need to worry about it. And then this big worry about the assessment centre being tough is gone, because you've already achieved it multiple times in your prep, in your plan. When you've been at home and you've been going down to the leisure centre, or you've been going down to the local basketball court, or whatever it bloody is, and do the bleep test down there in your headphones. Do it until you're ready and you're easy to pass the level that you need. And then all the worry goes away, and you don't need to be messaging people like myself, even though I do appreciate the engagement. So that's the answer to that, guys. Prepare properly. Make sure you prepare weeks and weeks in advance for your assessment centre. Don't turn up on the day having to worry about that, because there's another worry at assessment centre that gets people down. That's a medical test, and that's something you do not have control over. So the things that you do have control over, make sure you plan and prepare for. So one of the other questions I get asked quite a lot is based around P Company or Pegasus Company or joining the Poers. Is it difficult? The short answer is yes. It takes a lot of greater determination, and it takes a lot of physical fitness and robustness to get through, but it's not unachievable. I went up, and I've been openly honest about this, I went up and I failed the first time because I just thought it was going to be a piece of piss. I thought I was going to be able to go up there and walk it, and I was heavily mistaken. I went up a second time, and it was a lot easier. I felt like I was flying compared to some of the other people there, and I did really well, and I ended up passing the course. Went on to do my jumps course, got my wings, all them sorts of things, and that's because I prepared for it physically and mentally. And I advise people that want to join the Poers, want to join the Marines, want to even join the RAF Reg, you need to put that prior preparation planning and then go ahead and execute, because these are difficult courses. They're some of the hardest in the military, and you're not just going to be able to go up there. Most people aren't going to be able to go up there and just do it without planning, without training very hard to pass these events, because it can be very tough. So another question I want to jump into is going to be all based around what to join: Navy, Army, RAF, or what unit within that branch. So if you want to join the Army and you are someone that doesn't really like physical fitness side, and you are quite switched on technology wise, you're not going to choose to go into the Poers or the infantry or something like that, because you would probably be best suited in going into something like the Royal Logistics as a cyber engineer or something like that. So you need to think about things, you need to do a little bit of research, and you need to deep dive into the different units within them branches. So if you want to join the Royal Logistics, look at the specific units in the Royal Logistics, what they do and what sort of things they can offer you. If you want to join the infantry, do you want to join the light infantry, do you want to join cavalry? I don't bloody know. What infantry unit do you want to join? What are the specifics? What do they specialise in? And make sure you choose the right one for you, because you don't want to be in the wrong unit. And last but not least, probably one of the most common questions I get: should I join as like a recruit, a soldier, or an officer? And I've answered this question a billion times. If you've got what it takes to join as an officer, my recommendation and what I would do, this is personal opinion, is join as an officer. The reason why is, firstly, you get more money, which is always a bonus. Secondly, it develops your leadership skills a little bit more. Thirdly, when you leave the military, you have a lot more options in terms of being an officer in the military looks really, really good on your CV, and you could probably walk into some high leadership roles in civilian street companies, and it just looks really good, especially if you've got a trade backed behind you having the role as an officer as well. So if you don't have what it takes to be an officer in the military, i.e. you don't have the UCAS points, you don't really have the leadership skills, you haven't done any charity work, you're probably going to struggle to get through the application process anyway. So I would recommend going in as a recruit. There's nothing wrong with going in as a recruit, and there's nothing wrong with working your way up and becoming a late entry officer later on down your career. There's different ways you can become an officer. And as a recruit, you get to be one of the lads. You don't have as much responsibility, really. You don't have to act as professional, even though you're all professional. There's just a higher standard, I would say, for officers. Again, my personal opinion. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with both different entryways to the military, and both have the benefits and both have their sort of flaws. It's about what's doing right for you, doing what's right for you, and making the right decision for yourself and play to your strengths. Can you go? Right people, we're just finishing off the video now. Thank you very much for watching as always. If you did like the video, give it a like, subscribe. If you've got any further questions, you can ask me anytime. Whew. Back from me dog walk now, feeling very good. So I'm going to go and chill for the evening. It's Friday night, chill time. See you all in the next one.